Welcome to our channel. My name is Tracy. I'm the keeper of the home here at 4D Farms, where we are all about faith, family, home, and farm. I hope you find something on our channel that will encourage you and inspire you on your journey. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit like and subscribe, and be sure to turn that little notifications bell on so you'll get notified every time a brand new video is uploaded. We hope to see you in each and every one. Thanks for watching. Y'all want to learn how to make those puffy, gummy, rubbery, but delicious, textured bagels like you see in these stores or at grocery stores or in these shops, these coffee shops, things like that. I like a good, toasty, crunchy, gummy, rubbery bagel. Y'all, there's just something about bagels. You know how like you try to tear it apart. It's like, okay. But y'all, they're delicious. They're bagels, okay? We're going to make some today. So come along with me and let's get started. What are y'all doing sneaking up on me like that? I'm trying to get my ingredients together. Okay, y'all, you can find a bagel recipe anywhere. And it's similar to like just bread dough, okay? What makes a bagel and the texture that it gives it, like rubber, is the baking soda boiling method. Okay, let me say this. I'm going to say this nicely. In my Bread Making for Beginners series, this video is included in this series. And it's been going on for a long time. It's okay. We're learning together. I've already done 2 videos on making some bagels. The first one, I saw this little hack. And at the same time, I was trying to find a flour that was better for dear hubby, that he could eat better. And I tried like the, what was it? I think it was the almond flour. We tried it. He gave me his input. His words exactly were, don't ever make these again. There was just something about the almond flour texture. It was gritty. They didn't hold together well. And it was just a little hack I saw on TikTok. 2 ingredient bagels, I think, or something. And of course, it didn't have the yeast and all the procedures and all such as that. I just wanted to try it. Okay? Never be scared to try something. But now get your feedback from your people, okay? You'll know whether to make it again or feed it to some geese outside your hotel window. Which is exactly what I did with them. I chunked them things out the, let's see, what level were we on? Anyway, we were way up high. I was chunking them bagels out the window. They were tearing them up. But he was like, don't ever make these again. Then I made another video in another hotel. And I think it was another 2 ingredient bagel. And I switched the ingredients around. And we actually liked them. And they'll do in a pinch. And we used them. I made like some little breakfast sandwiches with them or just toasted them up for breakfast. That worked. Now, y'all, if you just want a funny, go watch the first one. But the second one is the one where they turned out a little better. Only 2 ingredient little hack. And I did it in a hotel room. I don't remember if I did them in an air fryer or if I did them in a little stove that was in the hotel. I do not remember. Oven, I mean. I do not remember. I might have to go back and watch that one. Anyway, they work and they'll do in a pinch. But I love comments. But I don't like blasting comments or people arguing in my comments. So I had to delete some because it was getting out of hand in the comment section. Bagels, originally New York style bagels, you're going to boil them in a baking soda water. And some people will add a little bit of a honey to that water just to kind of break up the taste from the baking soda, but you don't really taste it anyway. But when I baked those bagels and didn't use that boiling method, the bagel police came at me. That's not a true bagel. You don't make a bagel that way. Well, I did. It was my kitchen, and I did it in a pinch. And at that moment, it served my purpose. But she's true. She's right. Original style bagels, New York bagels, coffee shop bagels, you use the boiling method, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Now, you can find a bagel recipe anywhere, and it's like a bread texture. Bread ingredients. You'll see when we get to the process what a difference it makes. But I'm gathering all my ingredients together, and y'all, I know I have one in my cookbooks up here, but I didn't know which recipe book. And I didn't feel like thumbing through all of them. And I knew there was one in this little magazine I just picked up at Tractor Supply. And I'm like, aha! And I just pulled it right up. Y'all, just find a bagel recipe. And for the sake of this video, I will type this one down in the description box below so you can have it. Better Homes and Gardens. You can even pull it up on their website. Better Homes and Gardens, up under their recipes section, and pull up, what's the name of it? Oh, just bagels. Just bagels, okay? Simple, nothing fancy, just bagels, okay? And then it shows you all different kind of variations. Oh, you can change the flavors. Onion bagels, raisin bagels, everything bagels. Cheddar jalapeno bagels. Blueberry bagels, strawberry, pumpkin spice. I can do that. I got pumpkins. Honey walnut, sriracha. Nah, we're going to leave that one out. Smoked salmon. Nah, I don't know. That might be something to try. I like a breakfast sandwich. But I like a good toasty bagel with a cream cheese frosting. And y'all, you can make your spread or your frosting just like anything they said in here. If we're at a hotel and I just go downstairs just to see sometimes what they got, if I'm out of breakfast, and I need to bake some more or something, go get groceries and make us some, I'm like, I better go. I'm just going to go down and get a bagel. And then they have like the little things of cream cheese. And I'll just start looking around for things to like put in it, And some of those look awesome, y'all. Oh, yeah, some of those look awesome. But I'll take like a little thing of cream cheese. And they got like, how all these hotels, the breakfasts have the waffle makers. I love those. And they got the syrup, little things of syrup. I'll take some cream cheese and a little bit of syrup, mix it together, and spread that on my toasted bagel. That just makes the best breakfast for me. But I'm like, you know what? Why can't I do this at home? Why can't I make us some bagels that we can eat at home and make breakfast sandwiches out of them? Just a toasted bagel every once in a while. For lunches, egg salad sandwiches, tuna sandwiches, things like that, or bagels, excuse me. But make ahead or a quick lunch, something like that. You can even put them with your, here's a quick idea. Some little lunches. Take some bagels and make some mini pizzas with them. Get your marinara sauce or your pizza sauce, some pepperoni, and then put your mozzarella. Put them babies either in the air fryer, a toaster, or your oven, and you've got like a quick little lunch for kids to take to school, or just a lunch here at home. Oh, y'all, so many ideas. But first, let's just get to making these bagels, okay? And we're going to do the original ones with the boil method to make those police happy. Okay. But here we go. I'm going to finish getting my ingredients together. I got to warm up the water. I will type this up and put it in the description box below. But y'all, if I get busy and I forget, y'all, go to Better Homes and Gardens, and on their recipes section, just type in bagels in case I forget. Y'all, this magazine is, what was the published date on this magazine? This thing is like 2 or 3 years old. And I do every once in a while grab this and throw it in my backpack or something. If we're going on a work trip and I need like some little quick recipes to take with me, I'll throw this in there. I'll throw in my book of my 5-minute no-knead bread dough. That is perfect for traveling. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back at the beginning of this playlist, Bread Making for Beginners series. That's that's about the 3rd or 4th video on down that I start beginners out. Is with a 5-minute no-knead bread dough. Okay, and y'all, I think I've even, oh yes, I have even made bagels with my 5-minute no-knead bread dough. So if you have seen that video and you want to use your 5-minute no-knead bread dough, use that dough that you've already got in your refrigerator, if you've got some in there right now, and you're wondering, what can I make with these? Let's make some bagels. Okay, grab your dough out right now. Go get it. Go. Underlay. Okay, good. Grab it. You're going to use your dough. Now, you skip this next step if you've already got your dough made, because we're going to be making a dough. So you just hold your taters, and we'll get to your part in just a minute where we are going to be, we're going to have to mix our dough. We're going to have to let it rest, I think. And then we're going to have to, we'll get to it. Let's see. You mix the dough, let it rise, let it rest. Then we're going to start shaping our bagels. Then you're going to let them rise again, okay? Because they got to get good and puffy. You got to give them that rise time, okay? That second rise. And then we're going to boil them. So y'all just hold your taters and join us when we get to that section. But you might need to go ahead and start prepping your dough. So get it out of your refrigerator. Let it be coming to room temperature. And then join us when we get to that part, okay? Because your dough's already made. Oh, girl, you one up on me. Okay, so let's catch up. Let me get the rest of my ingredients. Normally, when I'm making like bread or something, I've discovered that I like milk in my bread doughs more than I do water. But for the sake of following this recipe, I am going to get my water heated up in the microwave, get the rest of my ingredients, get my bowl and stuff out, get this dough mixed, and let it do its first rest. Now, second thing, I'm not dragging out my KitchenAid mixer for this. I have found a way that I can get my dough mixed up and then let it rest, okay, for about an hour. Let it start working on its own gluten, because believe it or not, it really does start forming its own gluten. Then I'm going to do that series of stretch and folds that I've shown y'all in some previous videos how to do, especially when we made that, that artisan loaf with the cheese and the herbs. Oh, that was to die for, y'all. Okay? We're going to use that same stretch and fold method instead, and that's going to replace getting out my mixer and taking it through the kneading, and I don't have a lot to clean up, okay? So, that's what we're going to do. If you want to do this and mix this with your KitchenAid, y'all be going, getting your stuff out, because I'm not going to be using it today. I'm just going to do a quick whip up, then get my hands in there and just incorporate it, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So, let me get my stuff finished, get my stuff together before y'all just came and peeking over my shoulder. All right, I've got all my ingredients ready. I have got several options for putting this in a warm place after we get this mixed together and kneaded just a little bit first, or incorporated for it to be put in a warm place for it to rest and double in size that first time. I've got a bread proofer on my oven. I have a warming eye on my oven. I can just turn on the light in my oven, and that's a nice warm place. If your kitchen is a little bit cold, get it somewhere warm, okay? You can even maybe light I've done this before in a hotel room. I have lit a candle and let it get good and warm and just set the bowl next to it, and it just create that warmth that I need. Y'all, I have learned to make bread on the go, okay? Y'all seen that video. Bread is not complicated. I've learned to whip up a dough on the go, traveling wherever we're at, and I can still make homemade bread even on the go. That's why I call it that, okay? And I've learned to downsize and do little mini loaves in an air fryer. I've made an artisanal loaf in the air fryer. And some places we stay at, I'm fortunate enough that I have either a little small oven in the hotel room, or we might be in a place, a friend's house or something that they've let us rent for a work stay, and I got a big oven. Okay, so making bread's not complicated, and neither is this. So we're going to get our ingredients together. I'm letting my oven just kind of warm up a little bit just with the light on in the oven. Some people have ran their microwaves for like 2 or 3 minutes and let it get warmed up, and then get their dough all ready, cover it up, and then suck it in the microwave right quick and close the door. Okay? Now remember to cover it up because there might be a little moisture in there, but that serves as a warmer too. So be creative when it says put in a warm place. If you've got to create warmth, then you go ahead and do that. And there's just some little tips right there to create warmth with. In a hotel room one time, I used the window where the sun was coming up on that side to warm up my dough. I've used a heating pad. So see, use your imagination. Just be careful. Don't use anything that's going to catch something on fire. Disclaimer, okay? Use your imagination, but be safe, okay? I actually had my little warmer up here one day, and I had my bread in my Banneton basket and not in a pan. Ooh, y'all, I come back to check that bread, and my towel was up underneath it too. And yeah, it was getting warm. Yes, it was getting warm, and amen. I had to get that off of there real quick. I'm like, no, only with a pan, not a Banneton basket, okay, because it was getting warm. Okay, now let's get to mixing this together. Let me get y'all down here where you can see. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. Yeah, 4 ingredients. Water, sugar, yeast, flour, salt, and honey. That's it. And an egg wash for when we get to that part. Okay, so we are going to combine, and I just know how to put all these together, y'all, just because I've been making bread all these years. So I just know how to put this together. But if you're just doing this for the first time, follow the directions that are going to be on this recipe, okay? Okay, but I know what to do. And I like to get my wet ingredients in the bowl first, then add the flour. If you dump all the flour in a recipe that it calls for, then you start putting your wet ingredients. You might not, that's the reason why a lot of recipes might say up to 5 cups. That means you may not need all that flour. Just depends on how hydrated your dough gets and the weather conditions, the humidity, the temperature in your environment. Y'all remember in our basics video, I gave y'all all that information about how temperature and humidity and all of that, your environment, affects your bread making. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're just jumping in here in this series, you might want to go back and watch that one, okay? Because you do need to know some basics about how different ingredients works together, how some people's environments and temperatures are going to be different. Altitude, where you live, can make a difference. Down south, way down south, it is like, you know, your temperature. Here where I'm at, in the wintertime, it's dry. In the summertime, it's humidity. I mean, know your altitude, know your area, and how your temperature works. For me, it's easier to make bread in the summertime than it is in the wintertime. Wintertime, it's colder. I do have to create some warmth. Summertime, It's already a little warm outside and it's humid and it's no problem making bread and it rises faster. Y'all need, if you're just tuning into this bread making for beginners series and you're just jumping in and wanting to make bagels with us, go back and start and watch that video, because you do need to know some fundamentals and some basics and how ingredients work together and how environment changes and your area can affect your bread making. Okay, let's get to putting this together, okay? So there's only just this minimal ingredients, but I'm going to put the wet ingredients in first. Then I'm going to add the flour and mix as I go. I may not need all it says right there. You'll know by looking at the dough. And it says you want like a sticky dough. Elastic. Let's see. To make a dough that is smooth and elastic. Okay, so it doesn't say shaggy. So this one is going to be a little more, not hydrated, not a wet sticky dough, but enough where it's going to come together. Okay, so you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's get to making this. Let me get y'all down here. All right, my water's warm, like baby bottle warm. We're going to add it first. It's killing me to add water because I've got so used to adding milk to my bread doughs now because it just changes the texture. But for the sake of this recipe, I'm going to put my big girl panties on and use water. All right, now you're going to need 4 tablespoons of sugar. Y'all, I'm going to substitute and I'm going to use honey. Just to make, because I put stevia in my bread doughs, but I'm going to use honey for this just to kind of change the flavor a little bit. But by all means, you can use pure cane sugar if you want to, or you can use stevia like I do, or you can use honey. So I'm going to put 4 tablespoons honey. I'm going to eyeball it, y'all, because I know about how much. 4. Y'all, I do this. I can eyeball things. If you can't eyeball things, go ahead and get all these out, okay? Now, we're going to use our yeast, and it's 1 package or 2 1/4 teaspoons yeast. I can eyeball 2 1/4 teaspoons, but for y'all, I'm going to go ahead and do this. 1, 2 1/4. Maybe. I saw that wasn't enough, so there we go. Corrected my mistake. We're going to put my lid back on here. All right, now we're not going to add the salt yet, okay? Let's see. So we've got, I'm substituting the honey. I'm making a few substitutions, but this recipe will still be down in the description box. All right, so we've got our water. We've got our honey. We've got our yeast. Now we're going to start adding the flour and mixing it until we get that dough that we want. Let me go ahead and mix this up right here because the honey is stuck to the bottom. And this right here will let you know if your yeast is active or if it's dead. Because if you start seeing, it says in this recipe to just let this sit for 5 minutes and you'll start seeing the activity. But I'm using instant yeast, so this kind of yeast you can just throw in here and, okay? But the other, you might want to proof it first to make sure that your yeast is going to be active. I just trust my yeast because I keep my yeast stored in the freezer so it doesn't go bad. All right? After you've let yours come up and get foamy, then you know it's ready to start adding the flour. If you've let yours sit for like 5, 6, 7 minutes and it still is not activating and getting foamy, your yeast is dead. You might want to start all over. That's also in the basics video, is the difference between the yeast that you may see in the grocery store. All right, now we're going to start adding our flour 1 cup at a time, and it is 3 3/4 or up to 4 cups flour. All right. So I'm just going to start adding 1. I know I am going to already need 1 more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2. And I'm going to start whisking this together. Just simple ingredients, y'all. And I don't know how many it says this recipe makes. Let's see. But it doesn't say how many this makes. Oh, 8. We should be able to get 8. Makes 8 4-inch bagels. Now, it all depends on how big I want my bagels, y'all. I may get 6 out of this if I want bigger bagels. You can make your bagels as big or as small as you want, y'all. Now, if I'm batch cooking this and I want to do up a lot of bagels, I will probably, you know, double or triple this recipe. Because I can tell you this right now, if I'm going to work on all this stuff and go all through this time, I'm just going to go ahead and double or triple a recipe. I mean, why not? If you're spending all this time getting all this stuff out just to make a little bitty bit, why not just go ahead and double or triple or quadruple a recipe and then have some on hand for later? There's y'all a homemaking tip thrown in my bread making for beginners series. I love to batch cook. All right, so that's 2 cups. Let's see what this 3rd cup is going to look like. It's still kind of wet and shaggy. So it says you do want to start getting an elastic dough. Now, y'all, if you want to use your stand mixer, that's fine. But just for this little bitty batch, this is going to be okay. Ow, I'm getting it everywhere. Should have put on an apron. All right, this is looking kind of good. Now, when I get to this point and it starts hurting my arm and my hand, I do have to just switch and just kind of take my rings off and start doing some mixing with my hand. All right, let's see. That's 3 cups. Let me go ahead and test this. Take off my rings. All right, let's test this. My hands are clean, y'all. This is my food. I'm not cooking for the public. This is mine. But my hands are clean, and I love these little Danish whisks, y'all. Y'all, any of my bread making for beginners series, things that I use, like my little Danish whisk there, I use it for everything, not just bread making. Or my Benetton baskets and stuff like that. My lame that you score. I'm going to add just a little more because I can still see that's a little shaggy, but not all the way 4 cups yet. That's like the 3/4, okay? All right, so let's just get in here with my hand and just start mixing this till I get that uniform dough. And y'all, at this point, it says mix your dough, and then you let it knead in just enough the remaining flour. Let's see, 10 to 12 minutes. I'm not going to do that. You go ahead and do that. Follow the recipe. I just know that I can mix the dough together, and I can just, after I mix it good, let all the ingredients come together where there's no more dried flour, you know, sticking down in the bottom. See, I got to do this some more because there's like flour still that needs to be incorporated. Mix it well. Get all your dried dough in there. Okay? And then, y'all, the magic, I just let it sit and work its own gluten for just a few minutes. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, y'all follow the recipe, okay? All right, let's get this. I'm going to start. See, there's still wet patches in my dough, so I can tell I still need to soak up this flour. That was the 3/4 cups right there that the recipe calls for. Oh, my arm's getting tired doing it this way. Woo! If I do a double batch next time, I might do my KitchenAid mixer. But if you're working with another hydrated dough, then it's not so tough. All right, so let's get this. I'm getting that. Let me get this incorporated, and I'll show you what they're talking about. The shaggy dough. I mean, the whole, y'all, I just said it a while ago. Smooth and elastic. I'll show you. All right, y'all. I got it all together. Whew. Okay, let me pop in here and say this. If you're using your stand mixer or if you're kneading by hand, you're going to do it for the amount of minutes it says on here till you get that smooth, elastic ball. See? Smooth and elastic. Okay? Can't hardly pull it apart. Bagels are not supposed to be a hydrated dough. Okay? Because if they're too hydrated, they are not going to stay together and withstand the boiling process. They'll just like, bleh, fall apart, okay? So, bagels needs to be a stiffer, less hydrated dough, okay? So, I got mine all in a ball. But you keep doing the kneading, okay? And then you're going to cover it up and let it rest. After you do that 10 to 12 minutes, you're going to cover it up. You're going to let it rest. I am going to choose to do letting it rest in here for about just a few minutes till it starts doing its magic all by itself in this little round dough ball. And I'm going to plop it back down in that bowl. I'm going to cover it up and I'm going to let it rest just for a few minutes. While y'all are going to continue doing your kneading, I'm not going to do all that. My 10 to 12 minutes is just going to be sitting here resting and looking pretty and doing its magic inside that ball. While y'all's KitchenAid mixer is going to do all the work, okay? Then we'll get to the next step. My next step is going to be some stretch and folds, like every 30 minutes. Now, your time, and I'm trying not to confuse anybody, but when you read the recipe, you'll see the difference between what you're going to be doing and what I am doing, okay? When you're going to, after you do your dough for 10 to 12 minutes, then you're going to cover it and let it rise in a warm place till it doubles in size for about an hour. Now, I'm going to let this rest just for a few minutes. Then I'm going to do my stretch and folds every 30 minutes, and that's how I'm going to use my hour, okay? If you don't know anything about the stretch and folds, don't worry about it right now till you watch that video of me making that artisan loaf, and I teach you all about the stretch and fold method, okay? So I'm going to let mine rest for just a minute. I'm going to use my hour, just letting it rest for a few minutes. Then I'm going to use my hour doing 30-minute intervals of stretch and folds. Then let yours rest for an hour till it doubles in size, and I'll meet you back here after it gets doubled in size. Now, I might meet those back here that are interested in the stretch and fold process. Okay, that's what I'll do. When I get ready to do, I've got cakes of flour on my hand. When I get ready to do my stretch and folds, I'll meet y'all back here, the ones that are interested in the stretch and folds, and I'll show you what it looks like after your dough is rested, just after mixing and putting it together in a ball and flopping it back over in there, the magic that happens, okay? So I will meet anybody that's going to come back and watch the stretch and fold method, okay? Then if you're not, excuse me, y'all, then we'll get to the next step after it's doubled in size after about an hour. Okay, y'all, it's only been about 15 minutes, and I want to show y'all what my dough's already looking like. Look at that. Mine's already done got a little puffy and poofed up. Now, this is where I'm going to do my first stretch and fold for those of y'all that want to know how to do this method. See, it's already like rising. See, I told y'all it was already going to do its thing and work its magic inside that little ball. Okay, I'm going to take my dough. Look at that. See, it's already forming its gluten. This is why I've just learned how to do this method. Stretch, fold it over itself. Turn, stretch, fold it over itself. Turn, stretch, fold it over itself. Do this 4 times. Stretch, fold it over itself. Y'all, this is just going to keep getting better. You don't have to do this step right here, but I just know I can do this, and it works more gluten and tension in it, and that's kind of like what we want. So see, now mine came out of the bowl easy because it tells you to grease your bowl. Normally I don't do that. I don't have any trouble, but I'm just following what the directions says. But I can just reach in here and pull it and stretch it over itself, turn my bowl, pull it up, stretch, turn it over itself, pull it up, stretch, fold it over itself, and rotate this bowl 4 times. But since it was greased, it just came out all in a bowl. So I can still just do this. I'm going to do my stretch and folds in my hand. Okay? See, y'all see that gluten? Oh my gosh, that's hard to stretch. but I know it's forming that gluten, y'all, and that tension that we're going to need. Now, see why you don't need a very shaggy or hydrated dough to make bagels? Because you want a good little stiff dough, okay? Spanking on its little booty, okay? You want a good little stiff dough right here for bagels, because when we drop these in that boiling water, we don't want these just turn into mush, okay? This is going to be my first stretch and fold and a little working here, little kneading by hand. I'm going to put it back in there, cover it back up. 30 minutes, I'm going to do the next stretch and fold, and that's how I'm going to spend my hour, okay? So I'll meet y'all back here in 30 minutes, and we'll do the next one, okay? Hold up. I did forget the salt. I didn't really forget it. I know you can either put the salt in there and follow that recipe right there, but I have learned some things about salt too, and I won't go into that in this video. But a lot of people are waiting until they get their dough together like this and they do them stretch and folds to then incorporate the salt. But I forgot to do that when I showed this to y'all, so let me get my salt in here now. Okay? Salt also gives dough this flavor, so I'm just going to do this again and incorporate this salt in there. I just forgot to show y'all this, but if you're following the recipe, they're going to tell you when to put in your salt. So we're just going to incorporate this back in here, get that got in the bottom, get that ooey gooey salt mixture. We're just going to incorporate this in there, do a couple of more little stretch and folds, and incorporate my salt, okay? Give it one more stretch and fold, and this dough will come together and it won't pull apart, and it'll still be working its magic right in that bowl with these stretch and fold methods, okay? But if you've done yours in the mixing bowl and the stand mixer, that's fine. And probably the next time, since this is a tougher, firmer dough, I'll know next time when I make bagels, just go ahead and do it in the stand mixer. So I'll do that next time. And it'll be easier to incorporate the salt when I do this method. All right, so I got the salt mixed in there. We're going to let this do again for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and then I'll come back, do the next stretch and fold, and maybe some more tension working like that, and then we'll get to the next step. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and do our next stretch and fold, just so y'all can see. See, look at that. It's doing its magic. All right, I'm just going to do this process again, y'all. This is just your stretch and folds, okay? If I hadn't oiled my bowl, it would still be in the bowl, and I could do the stretch and fold a little bit better. The whole dough ball wouldn't have come out, but I oiled it, so that's okay. So, y'all, it is working that tension just fine. The salt is incorporating. This is my second stretch and fold. I'm going to let it come back up. I'm going to set it in a warm place, just like you let your dough rise that time, and it doubled in size, and you put yours in a warm place. If you did yours with the stand mixer, that's exactly what I'm fixing to do right now after I did my stretch and folds, okay? In the meantime, I've already got me a cookie sheet, a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and I've already sprayed my parchment paper because the next step is going to be the fun part, okay? So I'm going to put this back in here. I'm going to put this in a warm spot, let it double in size. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. We're going to do this again. All right, now, well, I'm going to let it double in size, okay? So I'm going to set this over there, and over here on the stove, I've also got my Dutch oven out, and I've already got water in it. I'm just doing a little pre-prep before the next step, okay? All right, y'all. I've got mine out of my warm place. We're fixing to get to the next step. Now, those of y'all that have done your 5-minute no-knead bread dough, this is probably where you're going to want to jump in, okay? So, we're fixing to start forming these into balls, sectioning our dough out into 8 sections. I'm going to do 8 first, just for the sake of it being the recipe. And then we're going to get to start shaping these into bagels, okay? So, let me get y'all to where you can see. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know I have been reading through this recipe, and I don't know if it's typos, but I'm not sure I really like this recipe because I know from watching people make bagels, there's a step left out, or maybe I'm just not catching it. And then they're not putting the baking soda in here in the water. Some people may just do, they're putting honey in there in their boiling water, okay? But to me, the baking soda and the water and the boiling activates the molecules that's in the flour to give it that gummy, rubbery, okay, interior texture. But also when you're baking it after they've been boiled, it gives it that outside texture that you're looking for. There's no mention of baking soda in this recipe. Also, after we shape the bagels, you are supposed to let them rise again one last time and get a little puffy, then boil them. And they don't do that in here. They just give it like a 10-minute rest period. I'm going to make a few variations. And if you would rather find another recipe, feel free to. I'm not really sure about this one because I've seen people make a lot of bagels. And I'm kind of not sure about this one. So for the rest of the recipe, we're going to wing it, okay? Now, let's get to, I got my little divider here. I'm going to take my dough, and it's not sticky. Look at there. It's not sticky. It's not hot. I can tell it's good because it's got that hollow sound, all right? So now we're just going to work it a little bit. I don't even have to flour my surface, y'all, because this is not a hydrated dough. It's not a sticky dough. This is what you want, okay? So, I'm going to plop this right here. We are going to divide this into 8 sections. Let me prop y'all down a little more where you can see without it falling over. Y'all, I broke one of my favorite tripods, okay? Let me get y'all, okay, here we go. We're going to divide this into 8 sections with my divider. We're just going to go this way first, half, okay, then we're going to half this, half this one, half this one till you get 8 sections, y'all. You're just going to keep halving until you get 8 sections. So there's 4, 5, 6, 8. Got my 8 sections. Now you're going to cup and fold the ends up in there like this till you get like it all smushed up on the inside, okay? See, it's not even sticking to my hands. Now you're going to want to just kind of like work some tension on it and get it in a ball. And you're going to do all 8 this way. Kind of like, don't press down, but like roll it and cup it in your hand to just make that bottom roll around on here, if that makes any sense. Just creating some tension. And y'all like this, they're already trying to puff. 10-minute resting period on the baking sheet. Maybe all it needs. We're going to see, okay? But I am going to put that baking soda in my water. Work it around some tension. Cup, work that tension, okay? Now you're going to take it in your hand and you're going to poke a hole in the middle like you're making a donut. Okay? Put both thumbs in there, or a finger and a thumb, and just do it like this. Okay? Because as these puff up, it's going to try to close up that hole, okay? So you want to make sure you get it puffy the first time. And y'all, they are not going to be perfect. You're going to have some pieces that are going to be a little wider than the other, but just try to get your bagel shaped like that. Okay, like this, y'all. Or you can do it like this, okay? Look at that. Like a donut, okay? Because like I said, the more these try to start getting puffy, your hole's going to start closing up. Woo! So the first time you shape it, get your hole big enough. Now you're going to set it right over here. So there's one. I'm going to show y'all one more time. Then I'm going to do mine off camera. Cupping it. Y'all, my light's flickering again. Cupping it. Now we're going to work some tension. You're wanting to kind of like work some tension on the bottom. And just kind of move it and scoot it. Then do it like this a little bit. Cup it. Okay. Now, do this one more time. Poke a hole. Poke a hole. Put your 2 thumbs in there. Create a hole like a donut. If y'all want to use a tool or something to do this with, you can just use your fingers, y'all. It's not that hard. Okay. Roll it around. You just kind of want to get it even all the way around. I'm going to do this to the other 6. All right? I'll meet y'all right back here, okay? Okay, I've got my 8 made. Don't they look pretty? Well, some of them. I'm not the perfect shaper in the world, okay? But you know, you do the little twirly. You get them to shaping. Now, we are going to let these rest, and I'm going to let them get a little more puffy and rise just a little more, okay? So I'm just going to put a towel over them, and I'm going to set them right there. In the meantime, preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and then we're going to start heating up our water, letting it start coming to a boil. By the time those 2 sink together and we're ready, these will be good and ready to go. Okay, so let me get my water to boiling and start preheating my oven. I've got my honey and my baking soda ready. And you're going to need one of these little things. A slotted, whatever, or a spatula, whatever, because when we boil them, we're going to have to dip them out, okay? So I've got my little slotted scoop here. So we're going to turn this on high because we're going to want our water to boil. I'm not going to put the baking soda and the honey in until they do start boiling. The oven. Yeah, I know. I hear you. Hey, you forgot to turn on your oven. I got you, girlfriend. Now we're good to go. Okay, so these are going to rest just a little bit. They're going to get a little puffier because y'all, even as the ones that were sitting here waiting to be rolled and shaped into a ball, like, hey, I'm ready, they were already starting to rise again. Okay, well, they were like Jesus. They were going to rise, and okay, here we go, y'all. So, y'all, on my channel, you're going to get a little bit of everything, okay? So, you've been forewarned, okay? So, we're going to let that start heating up, start coming to a boil. Got our oven preheated to 400 degrees. And then we're going to get to the next step. I'm going to wait and put the honey is like to give it a little shine. The baking soda is to work the molecules together and boil them to where it creates that rubbery texture, okay, like a bagel. But y'all, we're going to wing the rest of the recipe because I know how to do it. But just know it doesn't say all that in that recipe. If you want to go ahead and be Googling another recipe or looking through your recipe books, do that. And y'all, I've got tons in there, and I'm pretty sure there's another bagel recipe that does it just like this. That's just the first one I grabbed and said, oh, here's bagels. Okay, so I'm going to get these things ready. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and then we will get to the next step. Don't forget, you're going to need some of the everything bagel seasoning, y'all. It's not bagels without these little crunchy things on top. Now is it? They didn't even include that in the recipe. They don't have these on there. But I guess, y'all, if you want to make the plain bagels, there are plain bagels on this page that doesn't have the everything bagel. But, y'all, a bagel ain't a bagel to me without these little crunchy things on it. Just the right amount of seasonings and spices and that little crunch. But, oh, y'all, look at the bacon. I mean, the cheese and jalapeno one. Oh, my gosh. Oh, y'all. We're going to learn to make a lot of bagels, okay? But I just know the basics of making these bagels. So, you're also going to need an egg beaten because we're going to have to do an egg wash on these, okay? Okay. Get your egg out. Now that this has got to... Now, y'all, mine's a Dutch oven. It's probably not going to get to that boil, that rolling boil, okay? If you've got another pan or something like that, yours is probably going to get to a rolling boil or a boil quicker than mine. We are going to add the baking soda. Now, y'all, I've seen people add a pretty good amount of baking soda, all right? I'm going to stop right there, okay? See that right there? That's going to interact with the molecules in your flour, too. We're fixing to add the honey just for a little bit of sweetness, okay? Now, we are going to boil these. We're going to boil these 1 minute on each side and return back to your pan right here. Ooh, y'all, mine's got a little puffy. I love it. Love it. All right, I'm going to take one. I'm going to put it down in here. 1 minute on each side. I'm gonna do 4 at the same time, so I just only gotta do this 2 times. All right, so I'm gonna start timing 1 minute on each side, okay? I'm getting a little bit of that boil right in here right now because, y'all, I'm seeing that baking soda interact with that flour, and look what it's doing. Yeah. Okay, so 1 minute on each side. And then I'm going to flip it and do 1 minute on the other side. Y'all, look what it's doing. It's activating. Oh, yeah. And then you're going to get that, just that little hint of sweetness with the honey. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Let me keep these covered so they don't get dried out while we're waiting. Look at that. They're getting puffier and it's activating. All right, so after 1 minute, I'm going to flip it, do 1 minute on the other side, and I'm going to lay them back over here and do the next batch, okay? I won't make you sit here and watch me do this whole thing. All right, so now I need to flip. That was quick. Flip. 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 And bagels are going to, they're going to be heavier, y'all. This is not bread. This is bagels. Look how they're puffing up. Okay, 1 minute here. I'm going to place them back over here. Oh, y'all just hang out with me for about 30 more seconds, okay? Then we will put them over here. But I will do these separately, and then I won't make you watch another 2 minutes worth. Then I'll do these, and then we'll get to the next step. Little bit more, little bit more. Come on. Y'all see that fizzing activity? That's what the baking soda does. That fizzing activity. And why that recipe didn't have it, I don't know. Anybody counting seconds? Because I'm not. Okay. But y'all, look at it. Fizz. Oh, y'all. Oh, these are smelling so. All right. Time to remove. I'm watching my timer up here on my clock. You're going to put them back on your baking sheet. I'll spread these out in a minute because my baking sheet's kind of wonky. I'll spread them out in just a second. All right, now I'm fixing to drop the other 4, and I'm going to do the same process, okay? Mine's all done. Now for the egg wash, okay? My oven has got about 15 more degrees to go. That'll get me, and these will be done, and we'll pop these straight in the oven. If you don't want to use the everything bagel seasoning, you don't have to. I prefer it and I want it, so we're going to use it. So you want to baste with an egg wash. Make sure to get inside there too on the sides, okay? Y'all ever want to know what to do with a leftover egg wash that you don't use at all for something like basting something with an egg wash? Yeah, you can put it in the refrigerator and save it for a recipe that calls for some eggs in it. Don't throw this away just because you've just used it just to baste an egg with. Y'all, you can also microwave this inside this little glass bowl in the microwave and make you like a little mini scrambled egg. Yeah, so don't waste it. And I'll probably use that and make me like a little scramble. Oh, there my oven goes just in time. I'll probably use that to make me a little scrambled egg to go with one of these bagels for breakfast in the morning. All right, that's all done. If you don't want to use the everything bagel seasoning, you can skip this step. But I am going to put that on there. Y'all, you can put anything on top of your bagels, y'all. You can put add-ins inside of your bagels. You can put things on top of your bagels, like cheese, stuff like that. Oh, I better make sure I got enough for all of these. Let me get all of them coated at least one good time first, and then we'll go back, because I'm about to run out. Oh, man, come on, just a little more, Oh, y'all, all right, that's okay. Some's going to have more than others. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, that one's going to have a good bunch right there. All right, and I need to add this to my grocery list. All right, now we're going to put these in a 400-degree oven for 22 to 26 minutes. Y'all, watch your ovens. You know how your oven bakes. You want to get them good and brown on top. So into the oven they go. And I'm going to set my timer. So we're going to timer. I'm going to do 26 minutes to start with, but I'm still going to kind of keep an eye on them. So I'm going to go write this over there on my little whiteboard for my grocery list, okay? And then in just a few minutes, we'll come back and we'll check these bagels. Let me show y'all this little trick while we're waiting. Because I may actually just have a bagel and eggs tonight for supper. All right, get a little splash of milk. Add it to that egg. Just a little splash. Stir it up for one egg with a little bit of milk in it. You're going to microwave this for about a minute, 20 seconds since I added a little bit of milk to it, okay? Now, you want to cover, because we've had an egg go in here before. So, 1 minute, 20 seconds, watch the magic. Or I'll just let you see the magic when it gets done. But you just made you a little mini scrambled egg. I use this trick all the time, y'all, for just a quick little breakfast. I have taught the granddaughters, they've gotten old enough now, they can come in here and fix them some breakfast. They know how to do this little trick and make them a little scrambled egg. So, I'll let you see in just a second. Y'all want to see my little puffy egg? Little scrambled egg. Comes out so easy. In the shape of a circle. We're going to put that on my bagel when they get done. Oh, that's hot. Okay. Y'all, quick little trick with an egg, okay? Just be a little careful because it's going to be hot when it comes out of there, okay? Coming at ya. Hot. Smelling good. Y'all, I stopped them at 24. Okay? Look at that. We're going to put these down. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm going to let these just kind of sit here a minute. I'm going to see if I might not be able to pick one up because they might just be hot. They're a little hot right now. Oh my gosh, y'all. Do y'all see that golden brown color? Oh my gosh. Kept its shape, got puffy. Look how thick it is. That looks like a big old donut. Look at that. Oh, y'all, you know the rule of thumb. We've got to let these sit here and cool off a little bit. I'm not going to slice into one of these. I'm going to tear one open first in half. Let you see how it pulls apart and it tears in half. Then I'm going to take one and slice it in half and show you that texture and what it looks like on the inside. So you get a look at about like both views of the texture. But y'all know the rule of thumb. You got to let things cool off before and turn off your oven and let these cool before I do anything to them. I'm not messing these up. So I'm going to just sit here and just watch myself, okay? We're going to let these cool. Then we're going to literally tear into them, okay? And I got me some butter here. I'm just going to taste test tonight. And then in the morning, I'm going to make me a cream cheese spread. Or, y'all, I may just toast one up and maybe just put some applesauce or apple butter or apple jelly on top. I got so many things I can do with these, y'all. Use my little egg here that's cooled off. But, y'all, I got to let these cool off just a minute, okay? So, patience, okay? I just can't stand it any longer. Let's do this, okay? I'm going to grab this one right here. It's cooled off now, y'all. Now I can touch it. Look at that. Do y'all see that? Y'all. Ooh. Oh, y'all. That bagel seasoning. Okay, now some seeds are going to fall off, but I want y'all to watch this. I'm going to try to do it over my plate. Some seeds are going to fall off. Let's pull this apart. We're going to do the pull apart test. Oh my gosh, y'all. Look at the pull apart test. It's got that stretchy, rubbery pull apart feel. Look at that texture. Looky. Oh my gosh. Y'all know what's coming next. Let me hammer on one of these. Okay. Y'all, I want that texture, and I'll let you know. Sorry, y'all. It's there. That chewy, rubbery elasticity texture that a bagel has. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my gosh. Wait just a second. Look. Y'all see that? That's what you want. Hold on a minute. I'm a Brady girl. I love my bread. Okay, now let me sacrifice one, and I will use this for my breakfast in the morning. I'll toast it up, and I'll save this egg for in the morning, and I'll have an egg sandwich for in the morning. So let me sacrifice one about the same size as this egg. We'll pick this one right here. I'm going to, this is a bread knife, y'all. I'm going to sling this thing around. This thing's like a sword. Okay, this is a serrated, and this is what you're going to use. But I'm going to slice this open. Oh, I don't want my seeds to fall off. Y'all, let me get y'all down where y'all can see me slicing this, because I'm trying to hold it, and my seeds are beginning to fall off. But that's okay. All right, here we go. Watch. I'm going to try not to cut my hand, y'all. Ah, my seeds are falling off. Let me get it to where I can get it right there without cutting my fingers. Are y'all ready? Y'all see how that resistance, that texture, you're going to get that resistance from that gummy, rubbery texture of a bagel. But look at that texture. Look at that. Y'all, this is going to be perfect to toast in the morning in the toaster and put my egg on it or put my cream cheese frosting. Let me get y'all back up here. My cream cheese spread. I don't know why I say frosting. I'm not making cinnamon rolls or nothing. But my cream cheese spread. Oh my gosh, y'all. Just, I did it! Ooh. First time making bagels the New York style way, old way, original way, not old way, original way that bagels are supposed to be made, so the bagel police will be happy. But if I'm in a pinch, just know, if I need to bake them again, I'm going to bake them, depending on where I'm at. Y'all, I can just sit there and eat this bagel just like bread. I think this is just going to be my supper, y'all. I did it. I made bagels the original way. Y'all, this is better than store-bought. I'm not kidding. Let me get me something to swallow. Hold on. Okay. Y'all know bagels. They'll get a little stuck. Y'all, I'm proud of myself. I am proud of myself. I feel like the Lord is looking down and saying, you did good, my child. Oh, thank you. I did it. He's the bread of life, y'all. Oh, y'all, I could just continue to just eat on this bagel. And they're going to be better when they're warm and toasty. I did it. Y'all, I'm going to finish my bagel. I'm going to enjoy these bagels. I may have another one. I don't know, just depending on what mood strikes me. Oh, y'all, I did it. Breakfast sandwiches, here we come. Gives us something different to use instead of biscuits all the time. And we can toast these up, or we can leave them like they are. We can use these for breakfast. We use these for lunch. We can use these as like the little mini pizzas. If you're going to do the mini pizzas, you probably wouldn't use the bagel. Everything bagel seasoning. So many ideas I'm seeing with these bagels, y'all, but we did it. We made bagels. Y'all, I'm going to finish enjoying this, and I hope y'all have had as much fun as I have. Thank you for hanging out in my kitchen with me and learning how to make your own bagels from scratch. You did it. You didn't have to go buy them. In a pinch, you know that you can make something and put it on the table that your family will enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. Stay tuned. There's a whole lot more to come in this series. I will see y'all in the next one.